All right, so ladies and gentlemen, a slight shift in the program here. Our next speaker combines science with practical knowledge from real-life experiences in order to promote the powerful healing benefits of a plant-based diet, juicing, and meditation. She has appeared on Dr. Oz, Geraldo At Large, 2020, and CNN, and hosts the weekly internet radio show It's All About Food on the Progressive Radio Network. She is the co-founder of the nonprofit organization Responsible Eating and Living, REAL, which promotes whole plant-based foods and plant-friendly products. Caryn is the co-founder of the Plant-Powered and Thriving course program at the Food Revolution Network with Ocean and John Robbins. She obtained the plant-based nutrition certificate from Cornell and T. Colin Campbell Center for Nutrition Studies, Bachelor and Masters degrees in chemical engineering from Bucknell University. She worked in the semiconductor industry for 20 years. More than just a hat rack on this one, ladies and gentlemen. She's a classically trained singer who has won 2 international voice competitions. Please welcome to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Caryn Hartglass.
Oh, hello everybody. Yeah, I'm short. I am powered by plants. Woohoo! Shows you what a lot can happen when you're powered by plants, right? Yeah. Hey everybody, how you doing today? So I'm Caryn Hartglass, co-founder, along with Gary DeMatte, raise your hand, Gary DeMatte, of Responsible Eating and Living. It's a nonprofit. We're going to be turning 5 this year in May, so we're excited about that. And I want to talk about the weather. What do you think about the weather today? Everyone knows it's windy. It's actually not that windy today, and that's a great thing. But a lot of people get confused with weather and something called climate change, right? So some people had snow here in New York this morning. Anybody see any snow today? And there's a lot of people that say, how could the climate be getting warmer if we have snow in April, right? A lot of people say that. The thing is, weather is not the same as climate change. Climate change has to do with global temperatures over a long period of time and over a big area. Weather is just what's going on in little pockets, and the weather can be very, very tumultuous. It can be cold in one spot and really hot somewhere else, but the planet as a whole is indeed getting warmer. And one of the big reasons for that is because most of us aren't eating plants. We're starting to eat a lot of animals. We've been doing it for a little too long, and animal agriculture is helping to raise the temperature of our planet. Not a very good thing. So here we are, and we're having this wonderful Veggie Pride Parade. A lot of people are getting the message about the power of plants and how good it is for our health and how good it is for the environment. And at Responsible Eating and Living, we help you do that, and we make it fun and we make it delicious. So one of the things that we've been doing for a little over a year now is we have this daily blog. It's called What Vegans Eat. Now, I don't know how many vegans are out there that have heard people ask them, what do you eat? And I don't know how many people out there who aren't vegan who look at other vegans and say, what do you eat? But we have the answer for you, and we're now on day like 420 or something. So you've got many, many days of what vegans eat. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, holidays, and many of the foods that we eat are linked to recipes. We make it very, very easy for you. We've got hundreds of recipes on our website. And another thing we have, wind. Wind is noisy in the microphone. Do you hear that? I do a weekly podcast on the Progressive Radio Network. The studio is actually up on 31st Street over by 5th Avenue. And that's on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. I've been doing it for 7 years. The show is called It's All About Food. Anybody ever hear of it? It's All About Food? Right on. We've got thousands of listeners, and it's really exciting that people are interested in this information. And we've got every show from the last 7 years archived, and almost all of them are transcribed on our website, responsibleeatingandliving.com. So I hope at some point you go to our table, which is number 5 over there, pick up a card so you can remember our website, responsibleeatingandliving.com. It's a mouthful, but Our website is fully loaded with lots of helpful information for you. So you've got the What Vegans Eat blog, you've got a digital archive loaded with interviews with all of the experts in this plant-based movement who are making it happen. And we've got some fun videos and oh, of course we have the documentary. If you haven't seen it yet, it's free. I was invited a couple of years ago to speak to 250 cattle producers about how animal agriculture is affecting climate change. Gary and I went. I got dressed up in my full vegan cowgirl outfit, vegan cowgirl boots and hat and faux leather jacket. And we got in, I gave my talk, and we got out alive. And we made a documentary about it. It's really fun, and you can see that for free at our website. And we also have an app. Now, our website name is responsibleeatingandliving.com. It can really be cumbersome to type that in or punch that in, whatever. It's free. We have it for iPhones and Androids. It's right there on our website, easy to get, and I hope you get it. I use it all the time. So when I'm making breakfast and I want to know what should I make for breakfast this morning, I go to the Real app and I find one of our favorite breakfast recipes right there. I really do. Okay, I was talking about climate change a moment ago, and there's really good news happening. So, a couple of weeks ago, there was an article that came out in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. A bunch of University of Oxford experts put out an incredible article talking about how health and climate change are linked together, and they've got all these great graphs showing how a vegan diet is not only the healthiest, but it's also the gentlest on the planet. And these graphs show how dramatic a vegan diet is compared to all other diets from all these different countries. They show this in lovely, colorful graphs. Now, there have been lots of different media outlets, Time Magazine and USA Today. They talked about this study because it's huge, and they all have their own spin on it. And usually there's like some kind of negative spin or something digging on vegans. It's always best to go to the original source. So if you're interested in this article, and I highly recommend checking it out, it's at pnas.org, Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences.org. It's free. It's phenomenal. Climate change. It's happening right now. Okay. A couple of other things. I could probably... What are you saying? You're giving me more time. Okay, we're rolling. I'm going to check my notes here. Right. So, I like to talk about disruptive technology. Anybody hear about disruptive technology? This is like what's really happening in the world today, where we're shaking things up unexpectedly. And one of the greatest things that is happening right now, especially in the world of plant-based food, is using plant ingredients to make traditional foods that use animals. And now we're making those traditional foods with plant ingredients instead of animal ingredients. And there's a lot of investors that are interested in these companies that are making plant-based meats, plant-based cheeses. You might have heard some of them in the news. For example, big company, Unilever, last year was all over little company Hampton Foods for making a vegan mayonnaise. Now the FDA won't let us call it mayonnaise when it doesn't have eggs in it, so they call it mayo or something like mayo. And Unilever ended up suing this company, but then when the small company Hampton Foods started getting a lot more investors, Unilever decided to drop the case, and now they're making their own vegan mayo. If you can't beat them, join them. And unfortunately, some of the bigger food companies are getting the message. You may not know that Unilever also owns Ben & Jerry's. And Ben & Jerry's now has a line of vegan ice cream. Okay, they're getting it. If the money is there, they will go for it. And plant-based ingredients are taking over. And it's genius, really. Everybody can have what they want and just leave the cruelty and the unhealthy things aside. Make everything that everybody wants with healthier, gentle to the planet, kinder to animal ingredients. And the latest thing, of course, is vegan cheese. And And the vegan cheese was kind of crappy for a long time. I mean, we were excited to have some of them. But now vegan cheese is really amazing. People are using nut milk and coconut milk and culturing them using traditional cheese-making products. And some of these cheeses are amazing. Now, I mentioned my radio show, It's All About Food. I just spoke to Miyoko Shinner last week. You must know about Miyoko's Creamery. She's got many wonderful vegan cheeses. You can get them online. They have them at Whole Foods. She now has a cultured butter, which is really lovely. And it was interesting because one of the comments I got after interviewing Miyoko Shinner was from a woman who was supporting the New York dairy farmers. And she was kind of upset about what we were talking about, and saying that, you know, are we not letting the rural farmers have their voice in this conversation? And when I read her post and her comment, I thought it was interesting because, I mean, I understand it's hard being a farmer, and our government really should be providing support and subsidies to help farmers that are in animal agriculture, like dairy farmers, and help them transition to organic produce farming, growing plants, growing things that are healthier for all of us and for the planet. That needs to happen. But these farmers do have a voice, and who doesn't have a voice? The animals, the non-human animals, the cows that are being grown, the cows that are being artificially inseminated or raped in order to make the baby calves so that they can give milk, and then the calves, of course, are sent off to slaughter. It's not a very pretty picture. The part that's pretty is the fact that we can make all of these products that we love, milk and butter and cheese, and we don't need the animal anymore. We can do it with plants, and that's what disruptive technology is all about, and that's a beautiful thing.
Talking about Pam at the parade.
Oh yeah, can everybody give a hand for Pamela Rice? I mean, this is the 9th year of the Veggie Pride Parade, and it was funny because I was texting with Pamela at 5:30 this morning about this event because we were all getting these alerts about the wind, and she reminded me that vegans are brave and hardy, and we are, and I think the weather got the message because the wind isn't as bad as it could have been, right?
In memoriam, Rinberry.
Oh yes, and we all miss Rinberry. And if you're not familiar with Rinberry, he's written wonderful books, and I encourage you to Google him and check them out. I have a number of interviews with Rinberry on my website. One of my favorite books that he wrote was Hitler Was Not a Vegetarian, and some of you may have heard from time to time, a lot of people that are non-vegetarian like to come up with all kinds of reasons to dig on vegans and vegetarians, and one that we often hear is that Hitler was a vegetarian, and Rin did a lot of wonderful research and made it very clear that Hitler was not a vegetarian and how he was very fond of pheasant, I remember reading. There are some other wonderful books talking about the religious icons and religion throughout history, and how there's always a little nugget of vegetarianism in all of those different religious philosophies, because it really is connected with kindness and compassion. This is the true philosophy behind kindness and compassion, being vegan. And it's not, my radio show is called It's All About Food. It's not just about food. It's about clothing and treating all animals, non-human animals and humans, with kindness. And I want to end on that. Being kind and courageous. Isn't that what Cinderella said? Being kind and courageous. Yes. Have a beautiful day.